Mr. Eisenberg, council members have been getting a lot of email, and my impression is that somehow, I don't know exactly the mechanism, your company's been stimulating the email. Now, I know my colleagues do as well. I'm very, very diligent in responding to my email, and I just want to make you aware that probably about a third of the messages we've received that were form letters from you, maybe a quarter, when we responded to them, they were no good, bounce backs. Which when that occurs, it does raise a question as to whether there's, real humans on the other end. And then on at least one occasion where I corresponded through whatever mechanism you purchased with a constituent, it was very clear that the constituent had not read the message that his name was appended to and that his email address was appended to. I also want to point out that in the form letters that we got, there were two phrases which struck me as particularly unpersuasive if the audience that you were trying to persuade was council members. One of the sentences said, "The county council has sided with developers once too often," or, too often, which was kind of combative, especially since we knew that it was a land developer who was generating the email. And then there was another sentence that said, "Now that you've raised your salaries and our taxes, we hope you'll consider our point of view." Which again, if you're going to criticize the, livelihoods of the elected officials who you're trying to persuade, it's not a lobbying technique that I would recommend. So I would say overall that I'm perplexed and confused by all this email. It hasn't led me to believe that it's a genuine expression of public opinion. In fact, when I attended the East Bethesda Citizens Association meeting Monday night, I asked them, did they have a view? Because I had seen a number of active participants in the East Bethesda Citizens Association's names on the emails that my office received, which clearly were generated by Clark. And they said they had no position, that they weren't taking sides, including some of the leaders of the group who had emailed me, as far as I knew, because their names were on the messages, the form messages that Clark had stimulated. So I'm a bit cynical by this. It hasn't left me feeling like, wow, Clark has really got its finger on the pulse of the community. It's led me to believe that you've spent a fair amount of money on some sort of technology which is generating a lot of traffic to my inbox. But I don't get the sense that it is representative of my constituents' views. You may feel free to respond.
Well, I appreciate that. We've been involved with, we've created an organization, a medium called Protect Bethesda Open Space to act as a medium for communication of your constituents with us and with county representatives. I can't honestly speak to the technology itself. I can tell you that there have been hundreds of legitimate, genuine emails that were generated not by Clark or anybody that works for Clark, but by your constituents. The comments that you take exception to, and I can appreciate your position, these are comments that were expressed by constituents. And
well, sir, that's false. I'm sorry to interrupt, but they were word for word sentences precisely the same that I received dozens of times. It is not possible that those were impromptu individual expressions of opinion. I've been in politics a long time and I know better.
Okay, well, with all due respect, sir, the model of an organization or an entity, a website like Protect Bethesda Open Space it's a model that's worked to benefit many progressive community movements over the years in Montgomery County and surrounding areas, and that email correspondence that you're speaking to is a byproduct of that endeavor.
There's a word that's popular on the internet for internet lobbying techniques like this. It's fail.